What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have an awesome video for you guys about a networking event that I had a couple weeks back. So basically what I did was I reached out to the most successful people I know under the age of 30. And of course, success is subjective. So for some people, success could mean making a lot of money. For some people, success is being very creative. For some people, success is how much you give back and help others. And what I wanted to do was reach out to all these different people who are just super passionate about what they do, or the best at what they do, or strive to be the best at what they do, or people that just do very well in their fields and are just absolutely kicking ass, so that we could all come together, network, and just kind of bounce some ideas off of each other. And before all the guest speakers spoke about what they're doing, and how other people can help them level up and what they can do to help everybody else in the room, I went up there because I really wanted to set the tone. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew kind of what's truly important. And I understand what's important to me isn't important to everybody, but I do think this one thing that I talked about is very universal, and that is giving back and helping others, and truly using our platform to impact lives and to make a difference. And so I went up there and I did my spiel, which you guys will see here in a little bit. It was about a minute long speech. And then after that, I invited up some really awesome people. We had SHADI ASAD, who is a fitness guru. We had ALKIS, who's my financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual. We had ZUDOCK, who has a clothing brand that supports mental health awareness. We had Malin White, who is probably the most creative person I know, but not only that, he's a big thinker, he's a visionary. And I think people who have big dreams and big visions attract other people naturally, and he's one of those guys. And then I had one of my really good friends, Austin Davis, and honestly the only reason I have this YouTube channel is because of him. He's inspired me to be better every single day, and I credit really truly all my YouTube success and my real estate success to Austin. So he's a great guy. And then as far as the woman went, we had LEXY DENIKE. She is my marketing manager. She's a marketing guru. She's worked with some big time companies, and it's just truly has the entrepreneurial spirit and kills it. We had MCCLENNAN, who is a genius. And I said this before her speech, but could be the next president of the United States, or the first woman president of the United States. She is, man, she's wicked smart. We had RITA, MARSANOVA, and she is, there's so many good things I can say about RITA, but truly at the core, she's just a very genuine person. She cares about others, and I think that's reflected in the work that she's done, and she's just awesome. Who else did we have? I know I'm missing somebody. We had Tony Gavrilov, one of my good friends, go up and speak kind of on a whim, as well as Izzy, another one of my good friends, and both of them just absolutely crushed it. Izzy had a hilarious joke, and Tony just went up there and spoke straight from the heart, and I think it really touched a lot of people's lives that were in there and that had attended the event. So overall, it was just a fantastic experience. A lot of people walked out of that room inspired, on a high almost. You know, it was like euphoric, and that sounds crazy, but it was just such a great time. And I think you guys will see this as well and get the same feeling that I just spoke about after watching them speak. They're all just awesome go-getters, great people. And without further ado, the rest of the video is going to be all those speeches that took place at the networking event, and in the exact same order that they took place. And I know this is going to be a super long video, but you know what? These are the people in Austin that are going to be the trailblazers, that are going to make a difference, that are going to make an impact, and that are going to leave a legacy for many years to come. So for any of you guys watching this video, I highly encourage y'all to continue to just pay attention and give each one of these speakers your undivided attention, and give them a chance to really hear them out, because they all have something really powerful to share. And man, I'm incredibly honored to have had the opportunity to have them as guest speakers. And yeah, I think you guys are gonna like this video a lot, so pay attention. First up is SHADI, and then we'll go from there. What's up? My name is Matt Worthington. For those of you that know me, what's going on? For those that don't know me, what's up? Appreciate you guys for coming out. We have a great night ahead, but I want to start off by telling you why you're here. Over the past couple years, I've made it my goal to surround myself with people that are going to be somebody one day. People that are passionate, that have big dreams, bigger visions, and never let anybody tell them no. Each and every one of you is here for a reason. You're here because you're the best at what you do, or you strive to be the best at what you do. You're here because you're crushing life, and people are noticing. You're here because when I go out in public, other people talk about y'all. They say, hey, have you seen what SHADI's been doing? Have you seen what Jackie's been doing, what Dawson's been doing, what Alex has been doing? Your accomplishments and your influence are catching the attention of others. Each and every one of you is making an impact on the world in your own way. You're on a path to something greater. You're making a difference and you're changing lives, and you may not even realize it. And that's beautiful, because when you understand the impact you're making, you can go 10 times harder. And you must go 10 times harder, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who wants to be like you, who looks up to you. Someone out there wants what you have. They want to be like you. You're someone's role model. But if you're going to continue to walk your own path and be a trailblazer, you need to realize it's not about us. The harder we go and the more influence we gain, the more money we make. And we can use that platform to stand for something that's larger than ourselves. Be selfish to become selfless. Work your tail off and grind and go hard and be the absolute best at whatever it is you do, so that you can get to the top and then give back. You can give back by helping others get there, by helping others get to where you're at, by sharing your story as an inspiration for others, by being vulnerable and helping those that are hurting, by using your monetary gains to support someone else's dream, to give to the less fortunate, and to be the light in somebody else's life. Because look, when we win, we can bring others with us. The most successful person in this room will be the one that gives the most. I guarantee you that, don't forget it. And we need more of this out there. We need more good. So after you hear everyone speak tonight, after you network, and when you go back to work, remember that together we can leave a mark on other lives. We can make waves, and we can make a difference. And don't forget the power of giving back. Big change starts small. It starts with us. Setting your family up for generations to come starts with you. Generational wealth starts with you. Your legacy for years to come starts with the actions you take today. If you help others get what they want, you'll get everything you want. Because it's not about us. Use your influence to give back, to make a difference, and to make an impact. Y'all have the power to do this. Y'all may know him as the ladies' man, or the better looking version of Drake, or the Drake that uses the tears from Marvin's room as liquid in his protein shakes. But I know him as SHADI ASAD, health and fitness guru. You guys welcome him to the stage.
All righty, everybody. How we doing today? How's everybody doing? Good. All right, beautiful. So for those who do not know, my name is SHADI ASAD. I am a personal trainer at the Truth and Family Fitness, located in Cedar Park, right across the HEB Center, if any of you guys are familiar with that. So for me, I kind of wanted to start this speech by kind of talking about how I got into fitness and kind of why it became such a big part of my life. Just because I know if it changed my life the way it did, it can probably change a lot of other people's. So I just kind of want to go into the introduction about just kind of fitness and kind of everything it kind of brings together, from just a healthy gut, which correlates to your mood. There's a lot of stuff in your gut that kind of controls a lot of stuff. So I'll kind of start with me at a young age. I'll kind of be a little vulnerable here. My biggest insecurity was actually the way I looked at myself in the mirror. I was never super confident about the way I looked in the mirror. Growing up, every time we would go to the pool, we live in Texas. The summer, everybody wants to go to the pool. That was the worst time of the year for me. I never wanted to go to the pool. For me, whenever we would go to the pool, I would be the last one to take my shirt off. Unfortunately, sometimes I wouldn't even take my shirt off. It got to the point where sometimes I would even make excuses to not go to the pool, just so be like, oh, I gotta help my mom, gotta help my dad with something, just because those insecurities really kind of ruled my world. And it wasn't really until I got to college that I really kind of set foot down and kind of looked myself in the mirror. And basically I just told myself, I was like, look, you got 30 days, just make it a month, just try to go to the gym, just try to change to be better. If you do it and you don't like it, at least you tried it and I can live with that. But if you like it and you love it, all the power to me. So basically, fast forward, I got to tech, and when I got there, it was such a blessing because I was away from Austin, so I was away from all the distractions that I had here, all the people I grew up with. Over there in West Texas, there's really nothing you can do out there. So for me, it was a good time to just kind of focus on myself instead of trying to help other people before I help myself. So basically, once I got there, I did that 30 days. And after those 30 days, I noticed some results. And when I looked at those results and saw what I looked like in the mirror, my self-confidence went up. And in my head, I was like, okay, if I notice these results and my confidence went up this much, how much will my confidence go up in 3 years? Just because I was starting to feel better about myself. I noticed like I was saying a lot more positive things to myself instead of the negative self-talk like, oh, you don't have six-pack, you're not ripped, this and that. It was a lot more kind of friendly talk to myself, which was a blessing because having that positive self-talk, it bleeded into the rest of my life. The relationships I had with people got a lot better. My grades in school, whenever I kind of switched this lifestyle, I had the best grades of my whole life. Retention, memory, for some reason, I was remembering things a lot quicker, and just kind of made my life a lot easier, just because I didn't have to live with this insecurity of mine that I didn't want to take my shirt off in public and kind of stuff like that. So it was just like, it transitioned to eating healthy, to, working out 5 days a week. And ever since those 30 days, I've worked out 5 days a week for the last 3.5 years, and I haven't looked back since. So, yeah. So for me, the way I like to preach it is just, it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. It's not something you do for 6 months and then you get to that 6 months, you're like, okay, now what? And then you go right back to the beginning stage point and it's just like you got to redo the process. So my biggest thing as a trainer, I like to implement it into my clients' lives it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. Diets are very short-lived. They're not long-term. They're not sustainable. Doing a lifestyle change and just kind of wrapping your head around like, I just want to live healthier is a lot more better for you in the long term. And it kind of helps shift your focus away from kind of just like, just kind of staying away from like the fast food items, just because a lot of that stuff will lead to health problems down the road. And if you take care of your body now, it will thank you years down the road. So it was something that you'll kind of have to change forever, but it's a change for the better. And that's the kind of my biggest thing and kind of why I want to be a trainer and help other people, was just because I kind of went through the insecurities myself. And I know if I felt that way about myself, there's a million other people in this world that think the same about themselves. So I want to help them change their mindset, the way they think about themselves and how they look in the mirror. Because ultimately, it's just you at the end of the day. Like when you die, it's just you. So you want to make sure people are kind of happy about their self-image, about how they treat themselves, how they talk to themselves, just because, like I said, it will bleed into other parts of your life. So it was like once I kind of got that confidence up, my relationships got better with people, and I just saw a lot of just kind of prosperity and stuff happen in my life where I didn't really notice it before when I was, going out 3 days a week, eating like fast food 4 days a week. So it was a good change for me on that. And that's kind of why I wanted to help preach that and help other people, just like because I said, if I was going through those and had those self-image issues, I know there's a lot of people in this world that have the same. And now I kind of want to talk about the gym. So I have a business partner named Bear Christensen. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but we went to tech together, and we grew up together. I'd known him since like 12, and he's always kind of had this vision, but he would never tell me because he would always ask me like fitness questions. And it got to a point where I was like, this man's asking so many questions, but I never knew why. He was really just interviewing me without me knowing that we were going to have a gym together. So basically, we get to tech, and we kind of rekindled our friendship out there just because he would always come to the place that I worked at. So me and him, we kind of would always chat back and forth. And crazy, once Corona hit, I kind of was like, maybe I should get like my personal training certificate and just become a personal trainer. Because once COVID hit, I had a lot of free time. So I was back in Austin, back at home, and got my certificate. And basically, Bear, we were hanging out here in Austin, and basically he was like, look, man, I have this vision. We're putting this gym together, and I want you to be one of the head trainers there. I see kind of how passionate you are about fitness and how genuinely you care to make an impact in people's lives, and those are the type of people that I want in this gym. So I never even saw what this gym looked like. I just said, I'm all in. Because for me, I just want to be able to help other people, help kind of change their mindset about the way they looked at themselves. So fast forward, he takes me to the venue, or kind of where the gym is at, and all I see is just dirt on the ground. This was because it was the build-out stage. So all I'm seeing is just dirt on the ground, and for me, that was fine. I didn't care, just because as long as I was getting to do what I loved, I could have cared less. It could have been a little 4x4 box, but as long as I'm able to help people change the way they see themselves in the mirror, that's all I cared about. Fast forward the 4 months, or however long that process took for that gym to build, turned it out to be a state-of-the-art facility that costs, I think it was like a $2 million gym for kind of everything and the equipment in there. We have like a full recovery room with like compression boots, ice bath. There's like a hot tub in there, 2 full-size saunas in both the men's and women's locker room. And this was stuff I could only dream about. I never in a million years think this opportunity would come to me right here at the age of 24. And our biggest thing with the Truth was that we wanted to get away from the corporate gym feel. So like you have your LA Fitnesses, your Lifetimes, your 24 Hours Fitnesses, which are all beautiful. But we wanted to put our own twist on this gym. We wanted to do something where it's unique to us and not a lot of other gyms do it. So like, for example, once COVID hit, we were like, we're gonna go month-to-month contracts. You know, too many times people have been doing these year-long contracts, and when COVID hit and people tried to cancel memberships, it was hell. You know, there's cancellation fees, you're on a contract, you're obligated, this and that, and all these little loopholes. So we just wanted it to make it plain and simple, month-to-month contracts. If you ever cancel, just give us a call, 30-day notice, be done from there. And another thing that we like to do, we try to make fitness fun. So I don't know if any of you guys may follow our Truth kind of gym page. We'll do like gym skits. We kind of want to make fitness fun, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you can make it fun. So for us, we would do like little gym skits. Another thing that we kind of do different, we do like member spotlight. So we'll actually grab a member that we kind of see that's like continuously putting in the work, and we'll actually give them a little shout out on our page that's kind of dedicated to them and their kind of grind and everything. So it's kind of nice to have that impact and be able to kind of impact people's lives like that. And the whole thing about the Truth was that we want it to be where you be true to yourself, be true to your goals, be true to who you are. Are you genuinely putting in the work to get you to your goals? Are you, eating healthy when you need to get you to your goals? Or are you just kind of manipulating the situation and telling yourself what you want to hear? So that was our biggest thing when we kind of opened this gym. We wanted it to be somewhere where we welcomed everybody, no matter where you came from. You know, I have clients that have never picked up a weight in their life, but I wanted it to make it to where they feel like they're family when they walk in, because in the gym setting, it can be a little daunting. Some people get a little bit of anxious anxiety when they walk into the gym. So for me, I wanted to help bridge that gap. I wanted it to make it, as soon as you walked in that door, you felt like you were a family. You felt like you knew everybody in there. You could say whatever you want, do whatever you want. And that was our biggest thing with the Truth. And that's kind of where we are today. Now we're about 7 or 8 months of being open, and we're roughly over 700 members. So it's worked out beautifully there. Appreciate that. And that's kind of where we're going right now with it. And we have hopes to opening up another one in the next few years. And hopefully that will kind of be the one that I kind of take over and run myself. So if you guys kind of have any questions within like anything health or fitness related, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. And if I do not know the answer, I will find the answer for you guys. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Oh, so my Instagram is SHADI, SHADI .ASAD, ASAD 08. Yes, yes. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, anything health or fitness related, please ask me. I want to help. Yeah.
Where did you say the gym was located?
Cedar Park.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Cedar Park, right across the HEB Center. All right. Yes, sir. So that being said, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I want to invite the next guy up here and say this. None of this would have been possible without him. He was the one that believed in this idea, and he was the one that believed that everybody could show up today. So he deserves all the credit. But for those of you looking for advice in the world of investing, finance, or money management, the next speaker is an expert, and you need to introduce yourself to him. My own personal financial advisor, y'all welcome Sean ALKIS.
All right, what's up, everybody? I know most of y'all's faces, but for those that don't know me, my name's Sean ALKIS. From Austin, Texas, born and raised here. Really, real quick, want to take a second, just thank y'all for even listening to me for my short few minutes up here, and then also thanks to Matt for throwing this together. So I went to high school right down the street, Bowie High School. After Bowie, I went to Blinn College. Went to Blinn College for a year, and then I transferred to Texas A&M. Whoop. Graduated from Texas A&M in 2020. While I was in college, I thought I was going to be a sport management major and be in the field of sports, for my whole life. Was really passionate about that. Couple years into college, maybe 19, 20 years old, started sitting in on my dad's financial advising meetings with his advisor at the time. Thought it was super cool. I thought the idea of making money in the markets, whether it was crypto, stocks, real estate, commercial real estate, just investing in general, fell in love with it, thought it was the coolest thing ever. Pretty quickly, I was like, okay, screw this sport management thing. I want to make money. Found out that you can make money making other people money, and I was like, okay, this is the thing for me. This is what I want to do. That was maybe my sophomore year of college or so. And so felt pretty passionate about it, went to my advisor, I changed up my course schedule, I dropped some sport management classes, picked up a business minor, I picked up a financial planning minor, super excited again to be going to school, all that good stuff. And before I kind of dig into that, I'm gonna pass out this plan right here. And so my junior year of college, I started interning at Northwestern Mutual, and I was able to intern there for the rest of my college experience. And that's where I'm at full-time now. And so I'm going to pass this around while y'all kind of listen to me speak so you can take a peek at the type of stuff that we make for people. It's super comprehensive, so if you want to just take a couple peeks, go ahead and pass it on. But like I said, so started interning at Northwestern my junior year. Started in the summer, went all the way through. Kept that internship going my senior year. Met a lot of good people, met a lot of good mentors, people that are still mentoring me today, teaching me about life, teaching me about fitness. Shout out to SHADI. Teaching me about finance, how to help people, how to help families, how to help young singles, and really kind of hopefully the thing that I do today is inspire at least one person to put $100 in a Roth IRA or into Bitcoin or even the dog coins, I don't care what, but want to help people start investing, somewhere. And so what do I do at Northwestern Mutual? Pretty much every day. The easy way to describe it is all I do is talk to people. I just meet people. Some people are like y'all, young, hungry, ready to go out in the professional world and kill it. Some people are entrepreneurs. Some people are salaried. Some people do real estate. Some people sell dental equipment. Shout out to Matt. I guess Matt does a few different things. A lot of times I'm meeting with young families, helping them get financial security, investing, getting them life insurance, disability insurance, retirement plans. sometimes retirees, so meeting with y'all's grandpas and grandmas and all that good stuff, teaching distribution planning. Obviously we save all this money, now let's teach them how to spend it down. Really helping create legacy plans for people, right? We're all gonna have kids, grandkids, and that's something that's very important to me, is not only growing that wealth for you and for yourself in retirement, but also one day being able to, pass that down to future generations. And, that's something I talk to Matt about almost, weekly, is creating this generational wealth for people that maybe a lot of us never really got to have, but hope for our kids and our grandchildren. I think that's something that's, really cool, and that's something that I strive for personally. Is, I had this great life that my parents got to give me. They killed it. They sent me through college and everything. They're ballers. But hopefully I get to do even better for my kids and my grandkids, and set up things that I never got to have, and just, take it to that next level for people. And that's kind of what I'm passionate about, is that's what I like to do for myself. And so the reason that I kind of went this route through college and what I'm doing in my professional life now is so that I can help other people kind of see that, and do it themselves if that's what they're interested in. Really just creating an impact through financial planning is kind of what I'm doing right now. Obviously still super young, wanting to add more to my plate. Something that I recently just did is I partnered with a e-commerce automation company, which is really cool. So now, teaching people how to save money, invest it, whether that's, again, retirement planning or the dog coins, I don't care. But now I'm also helping people create passive income, which is fun. I know a lot of people like to do that, freeing up their time to come to stuff like this, spend more time with their families. And so it's really cool to see, kind of everything come full circle from when I kind of fell in love with, the idea of helping people make money as a career when I was 19 years old, sitting in on my dad's, conversations about his retirement account with his financial advisor, to then, taking over as my dad's financial advisor with some partners from my firm, and getting introduced to other people and bringing on clients every single day. Just being in the trenches, trying to bring clients on, and, handling objections and all that fun stuff that everybody's in sales is used to. And so just to bring it kind of full circle here, passions are going to be, bringing financial stability to families, getting young people to even learn about the world of investing and show them what it can do for them, because it can do amazing things. Creating passive income for people, and then just creating long-lasting relationships with people that I, love to meet, like all of you guys. And that's really it. That's all I got for you guys. So thanks for the time.
All right, our next speaker did things his own way. He didn't go to college. He didn't take the safe conventional route. Instead, he walked his own path and has since left a trail for thousands of others to follow. He's the top YouTuber in his niche, runs 2 companies, realized the importance of giving back, and is an absolute badass. Welcome, Austin Davis.
What is up? What's up? All right. Bear with me, guys. I can talk to thousands of people on YouTube, but I have an issue with talking in front of people in person. So, real quick, you guys, you should thank whoever invited you here, because guess what? That person trusts, or respects you well enough to even invite you to a place like this, a place where, we can make connections, and it's a place where everyone here wants to succeed, and we can all connect and bounce ideas off each other, which I think is pretty freaking cool. So Matt asked me to come out here and kind of speak my story. So I'm going to kind of get into what helped me and what helped me get to where I am at today, and I'm trying to keep it within 5 or 6 minutes, because I know there's a bunch of other people that want to come up here and talk. So yeah, guys, just a little bit about me. I own and operate an exterior cleaning and pressure washing business here in Austin. I run a small real estate team and apartment locating team with 3 agents, including myself, and I also have a YouTube channel, which according to vidIQ, which is a software company that analyzes YouTube data, we're the #1 channel on YouTube for the pressure washing niche. And so far, year to date, we've done, across all platforms and businesses, we've done somewhere around $175,000 in revenue so far. And I don't say that to impress you or impress upon you. I say that, look, I'm sitting here in Vans, jeans, and a t-shirt, okay, and I'm not any more ordinary or special than any one of you guys here. And look, you can go out there and make a name for yourself too. You can start a business, and many of you here have. I have. But it wasn't like this. It wasn't always like this for me, I had some big time struggles. I know what it's like to leave the security of a good job and pursue my own venture. 2.5 years ago, I left my stable sales job at Onion Creek Volkswagen, where I was quite good, I must say. Although I was making good money, my dream was to own my own business and be an entrepreneur. In the last 2 years after leaving Volkswagen to pursue my own business adventure, in those last 2 years, it's been some of the toughest and most rewarding times of my life. I know what it's like to take the leap from employed to self-employed, from self-employed to business owner. My income went from anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 a month selling cars, all the way down to $1,500, just trying to make a name for myself out there and do my own deal. But I knew everything that you want in life is on the other side of fear. It's on the other side of being uncomfortable. One of my greatest mentors in life is Eckhart Tolle. He wrote a book called The Power of Now. It's one of the most iconic books ever written. And in that book, he talks about the power of the present moment and how most people in life push everything into some future moment. You know, I'll get in shape when it's closer to summertime. I'll start my business when this, and that happens and the time is right. Like, what the hell does that even mean? What does that mean? What time is right? Everyone pushes and looks forward to some sort of future moment, and guess fucking what? The future never comes. Have you ever felt, lived, or done anything in the future? Or will you ever? And that's what Tolle says. And the reality is, no, you won't. Everything that we've experienced is the moment that's unfolding before us. That's all there ever is. And so when you tell yourself that you're going to be happy in the future, all you're telling yourself is that you don't want what is. You don't want this. You're pushing the moment, you're kind of fighting with life, and you're pushing the moment so far away from you, and you're not truly accepting what the beauty is right in front of you. Everyone wants to wait and stack their ducks so perfectly in a row before they do anything and just sit there and wait for the perfect moment, which of course never comes. And I can honestly say it's these teachings that's helped me take action and to live in the present moment is what's motivated me to get out there and start my own business. So the last 2 years has been a pretty good roller coaster for me, guys. Year one, mid to late 2019 is when I started, right after I left Volkswagen. And it consisted of passing out flyers, cold calling establishments, knocking on doors, putting out yard signs, and turning into a certified hustler. I did okay for my first year as a startup service business, but since I wasn't recognized on Google yet, my main source of income relied on boots on ground marketing and referrals. Was able to hustle my way through the next 12 months, thank the good Lord, until December, early February hit. I'm talking late 2020, early 2021 of this year. It was pretty bad conditions, 40 to 50 degrees every day. And as you guys know, pressure washing is kind of seasonal. So no one really wanted my services, really. It was slow as hell. My income was close to nothing. And I was living on savings and even worse in credit. I did a pretty good job of hiding my struggles from my friends. I didn't want them to know how much I was struggling in the winter. And of course, the great snowpocalypse came, which put me even further into the hole and limited basic life resources for most people out there, like food, water, electricity. I don't know, I had to go stay at a buddy's house. My whole apartment was shut down. Then came one of the most humbling times of my life. It was my mom and dad's birthday, late February, early March. Their birthdays are back-to-back, so we celebrated them on the same day at dinner. My sister wanted to go to some fancy restaurant. And I remember having to pull them aside before we sat down with everybody and kind of emotionally explain to them how I couldn't afford to really get them anything significant on their birthdays. I always like to spoil my mom and dad and give my dad things that he can use around the house, but I just spent all the rest of my income on rent, bills, business expenses such as insurance, SEO, website guy, all that good stuff, but which, by the way, are year-round expenses. Doesn't matter if you're busy as hell or you're slow as hell in the winter. Those are year-round expenses that you can't just... So I had nothing really left that was disposable. It was a terrible feeling for me because here I am, 24 years old, can barely keep a roof over my head, and I'm trying to make this business and my dream works, and I can't even afford to get my parents anything for their birthday. So it was pretty humbling for me, and I remember crying in my truck after dinner and just saying to myself, come on, God, I'm trying to make this dream work, and you just done left me out here like this. And, I didn't hear a voice in my head or anything, but something just kind of came in my head. I didn't really hear a voice or anything, but however it happened, I just remember just being there and sitting there, and all of a sudden something just popped up in my head and said, Austin, if you get up, I'm going to take you places you ain't never been. And it was that day, that experience with my parents, that lit a tremendous fire underneath me to go after what I want in life. I needed to get to the next level. I needed to make this happen. Warmer weather ended up coming soon, thank God. Jobs started coming in very quickly. My phone started ringing off the hook. I stayed consistent. I reinvested into myself and into my business. Got my real estate license and joined a brokerage that focuses on apartment locating, where in my first month I was top sales with $21,000 in invoiced commissions for the month of April. After 45 days of that brokerage, I said, the hell with this. I wanted to start a real estate team that with young Austinites who are passionate, and I wanted to give a fair opportunity for young people that are going out there getting their license that want to, make a good name for themselves. Pressure washing got so busy, I had to upgrade trucks and equipment twice. I went from begging people to, let me clean their home just so I can get some damn income in my life, to submitting, $20,000 and $40,000 estimates to apartment management companies, to clean apartments and stuff. Google finally started recognizing me, and after 2 years, United Exterior Cleaning and Pressure Washing is in the top 3 most reputable exterior cleaning businesses in Austin. And somewhere along the line, I started a YouTube channel that focuses on pressure washing and helping people grow their service business, and it's just really just a personal video library of my progression in life. And yeah, guys, like I said, we're the #1 channel for pressure washing, getting somewhere around 30 to 40,000 views each month, and we're growing at a rapid rate. And I get calls and texts every other day from people all around the country telling me how I've helped them, inspire them to go out there and do something for themselves. Some of my viewers and subscribers are here tonight. Through creating the YouTube channel, I found great fulfillment. I learned that inspiring others to go out there on their own path and venture into the unknown and doing things that they've always wanted to do gives me great joy. I hope to continue to grow my businesses and to help people start their own. My advice to anyone that wants to go out there and do anything in this life, whether it's starting a business, talking to that girl or boy that you've been meaning to talk to, or starting a workout routine, is to take action, stop pushing things into the future, and take control of your life. Thanks.
All right, the next speaker is someone who understands it's not about us. His clothing brand supports mental health awareness and brings attention to these conversations because they're necessary and they're important. He realizes that vulnerability is the strongest thing we can do, and with this mission at hand, he's going to change a lot of lives. Y'all welcome ROBBIE ZUDOCK.
All right, I'm gonna walk around a little bit. But I'm ROBBIE, born and raised here in Austin, and there's a lot of familiar faces here, and it's really good to see y'all. And I'm unbelievably inspired by Matt because, I was thinking about it, I was talking to Gavin about it recently. We should all do something like this. Absolutely. Like, our reach is unreal, if you think about it. Like, this is just Matt's reach, and a lot of our reach might intertwine in between all this, but imagine if your reach plus his reach plus my reach were all in a room. It's crazy to me. Unbelievable to me, and it's inspiring to see him want to do that for us and want to build a community around this and want to really help us. But yeah, let's get into it. I started this brand called Sunnyside. I'm wearing 2 of the pieces right now. And before I really kind of talk about the brand, I got to talk a little bit about myself and kind of my story. Born and raised here in Austin. I grew up in Circle C, and then I went to Hyde Park for a little bit. And I could look back from all the way up through high school. I didn't feel like I had really gone through much. I hadn't really been through many tough times in my life. I kind of just felt like everything was pretty easy and, I don't know, just not a lot of pain. And then I went through my first year of freshman year at University of Arkansas, and I get back, and the first week I'm back, I get a call from one of my friends saying, hey, your best friend's in a coma right now in a car accident. He's in Waco, and so I kind of drive out to Waco, and I go and see him, and he's in the worst shape I've ever seen, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen, and it really, really sucked, and it was really, really hard. And the next day, we're kind of going about it. We're going to see him. His name was Blake. Going to see him and kind of talk to him, and I get another call, and he says, hey, your other best friend, he's in a coma as well. He just got in another car accident, completely different car accident. Before I kind of go more into that, that man's Gavin, and he's walking today. He can run, he can sprint, so let's, come on. Yeah. That's my boy, and I kind of had to say something because I love that man. But in that moment, when I heard about Gavin's wreck, it was genuinely one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. And that pain lasted for a very, very, very long time. Lasted for a little over a year. And after a year, I was just sitting in this pain and not thinking I'd ever get out of it, and just being like, this world sucks, it's so broken, there's nothing good, like what the heck is going on? And I kind of realized one day I woke up and I wanted to kind of reflect on the whole past year. And I looked and I realized like the masterpiece of all this like good stuff that has come out of this bad. Like some of the most amazing things I've ever seen had come out of the worst times ever. Like some of the hardest things I've ever had to see. And then here comes sunny side. There's always a sunny side. So the reason why I started the brand is because that whole entire statement of itself is no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've seen, no matter what you're doing, no matter how hard it is, there's always something around the corner. There's always something good. There's always something you can strive for. There's always something that you can really put your head down on the grindstone and just go for and like really, really try for it, because we do have dreams and we do have things we love. And like Matt said, I really want to push our vulnerability as humans and as people, and I want to showcase that through my merch. I want to showcase that through anything I put out, that we are humans and we shouldn't be hiding behind this whole thing of don't talk about your feelings, yo, like you're a bitch if you don't talk about this stuff. Like, no, like own up to it, like be vulnerable with the people that love you, and because we always have these people around us. And it really hypes me up, SHADI, bro. Like your whole story of why you're doing what you're doing, it's put you in this unbelievable place, like this dream. Like you have a gym now, bro. Like but it's all because of like a passion you had. Like you went through something, you struggled with it, you like found how to get out of it, and you wanted to help all these people because of that, because you know there's others that go through it. And that's like unbelievable, inspiring to me. And I think about those things every day. And the biggest thing I kind of want to leave with all y'all and really want to say is like, no matter what it is, like no matter what you're doing, no matter what y'all are grinding for right now, like do it because you love it. Do it because you believe you can put something out there for the good. Do it because it's your dream, you know? And we all have dreams, and yeah. And I don't know, I just want to leave that with y'all, and I brought a little bit of merch, and y'all can come up to me and talk about whatever, but yeah, just thank you, Matt, so much. This is great, and I'm happy to meet all y'all, and this was awesome. So yeah.
This next speaker may be our future president. Her research in the medical world has been recognized on a national scale. She's received numerous awards for her work, is an amateur philosopher and a pre-med student at the Baylor College of Medicine. Please welcome the wonderful Alex McClellan.
Alrighty, well, before I start, actually, I want to go ahead and have a round of applause for Matt for having us all here today. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have learned so much about life and living just hearing all these speakers speak. So thank you guys. Let's see, where to begin? So I guess I can start off by telling you a little bit about my journey. I also grew up here in the beautiful city of Austin, Texas. Went to Bowie Go Bulldogs. And when it came down to thinking about what I would attribute the majority of my success to, I would really be lying if I said anything other than athletics. So I was like total jock growing up, whatever. Apparently, I wanted to play every sport there was under the sun, so I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. So I learned a lot out of that. It brought out my ultra competitiveness. It taught me how to be super well at managing my time, how to be diligent, how to commit and actually buy into this idea of teamwork, how to be goal-oriented, and it taught me how to sacrifice, which I honestly feel like is something that's dwindling in society these days, because we have this unique opportunity to just scroll for hours on end and clock out of our minds on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, where you have the perfectly good opportunity to turn around and instead maybe study for your upcoming exam, or learn about investing, or anything else that could make your future just a little bit brighter. So that's one thing that I was super grateful to have learned at a younger age. Another thing that being involved in athletics taught me was how to communicate with people. So I had the opportunity of learning and befriending people from all walks of life. It didn't matter any boundaries that came from financial status or socioeconomic status. It didn't matter. And that's something that's really translated nicely now that I'm getting to work with patients, which I'll get to later. That was actually one of my first exposures into medicine. I had one teammate whose father was an ER physician, so he worked in emergency medicine, and I would literally beg him every time he came to practice to tell me a story about one of his encounters. So I was geeking out at like 6 years old. I already knew kind of what I wanted to do, right? So all of those things kind of synergistically worked together, and I carried them with me after I earned myself a full ride scholarship to play softball and pursue my engineering degree at St. Mary's University. So I took all those with me. They allowed me to be successful on the field, allowed me to be successful in the classroom, and people started to take notice. Every opportunity I had to create some kind of mentorship relationship, I did. I got to know all of my professors on a first name basis, and I could probably pick up my phone right now and call any one of them and have a normal conversation. But I can guarantee you that anyone that ever asked me, Alex, is there anything that I can do for you? Regretted it to at least some extent, because I took every opportunity to bug them and pick their brain, got to know who they were, what they did, who they knew, what those people did to make that connection. So that opened up so many doors for me. And Matt was kind enough to mention some of my research. I actually was a part of several research projects throughout my undergrad. Some of them were not as sexy. For example, I was writing a script to manage genomic information for mosquitoes at one point, that was not fun, but I learned something, right? And then some of them were really, really awesome. And some brought me across the street to UT Health San Antonio, where I worked in a PhD lab. Got to synthesize my own data. I actually got to create my own experiments, and we worked with these cute little mice models, which some people probably say like, ew, that's gross, but I thought it was pretty cool. And so I got to take all of that with me and present at national research conferences. And my favorite one, we went to Anaheim to present, and I ended up winning first prize out of my section out of thousands of undergrad students, which was nuts because I was up here like literally sweating. I didn't even know what was coming out of my mouth because I was just so nervous, but I really just kind of bought into the whole idea that I did all this work, I'm proud of it, and I guess they believed me and liked it. So that worked out. I pretty much took all that again with me, learning how to sacrifice, really digging into a goal. When it came to now kind of changing routes from engineering to going into medicine. So of course it got me through the brutal MCAT. It got me through the long and treacherous interview season. And somehow it brought me to one of the best med schools in the nation. I don't know how that happens, but it's been fun so far. So the tried and true method I've noticed, getting to know people, getting to hear their stories, and kind of like on the backside, like, okay, what could they do for me? What could I do for them in the future? Maybe I'm not bringing that up right off the bat, but it's something I have in the back of my head. Has always worked. So I kind of took advantage of that as soon as I stepped in through Baylor's doors. And I met with some of the upper level students that are about to go into a residency I'm particularly interested in, which is reconstructive plastic surgery. So I got to know a little bit about what it takes, and apparently there's there's a hidden algorithm to perfectly getting into special residencies. You have to talk to Betty, you have to go talk to this residency over here, you have to do this research project, and something that I never would have known if I didn't go up to someone and be like, hey, please tell me how I get there, right? So that worked out. I even somehow scheduled a meeting with the chief of residency at the Baylor Plastics program. And I got to not only scrub in on some of his surgeries, which was super cool. I was totally geeking out, smile onto my mask the whole time. But I also got to get a glimpse at what drew me to medicine in the first place. So his special niche is breast reconstruction for breast cancer patients. And the relationship he has with those women is just the most magical moment, because we had some people talk about it earlier today, where there's such a direct connection between your external appearance and the way that you feel about yourself and your mental health, right? So being able to potentially have an impact in that field is something that I am so excited for, and I really just can't wait. I've also had the opportunity to play up on some of my other passions, which is giving back to society. And for me, the easiest way for that has been volunteering. So we have a lot of cool things going on at Baylor that I somehow measled my way into. I've been working at the Homes Clinic, which is a clinic set up for our homeless population in Houston. And you see some pretty insane and chronic cases there, like something that could have easily been fixed by most of us who have health insurance and healthcare providers that turn into nasty infections and just, you wouldn't believe it. Also volunteer my time at Texas Children's Hospital, where we get to hang out with some kids that sit for hours on end to receive dialysis. Many of those kids sit down for 5-6 hours each day, sometimes 5 to 6 days a week on the extreme ends, right? And then also I was just elected to be a representative for the Global Health Interest Group. And we're doing a lot of cool things like setting up clinics and screenings for refugee patients and people seeking asylum. And we're also getting our clinic in Africa running again for our pediatric AIDS patients. So really definitely looking forward to that. Ultimately, I know I kind of was explaining my why and why I think I have made it to this point now, even though she was explaining it earlier, Lexi. I don't necessarily feel successful, but I know that I'm in a position that a lot of people would like to be in. And ultimately it comes down to this. If there's one takeaway I were to say is commit yourself to being a lifelong learner, or consider it at least. And the best way to learn is from others. So whether you're learning about yourself, what your passions are, the way the world works around you, you can learn it best through others. So always say yes to that conversation or that connection that you have. Always take advantage of the possible mentors around you. Okay, not advantage, but like take advantage of the opportunity. Because, I mean, worst case, you learn a fun fact about them that might come in handy later. Or best case, you learn something that changes your entire world. And you're able to apply that towards your long-term goals, and it'll just make it that much easier to commit, to be motivated, wake up out of bed every morning and do what you love to do, and then ultimately sacrifice. So, sweet, well, thank you.
This next speaker owns her own marketing agency and kicks ass in the world of social media marketing. At just 23, she served over 200 brands, helped businesses scale from zero to hero, and continues to crush the TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook game. Y'all please welcome the one and only LEXY DENIKE.
Well, anyways, thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Lexy. As Matt said, I am the owner of a marketing agency here in Austin, but I'm also the owner of a CBD company here in Austin as well. Now, normally I would start by telling you all my achievements and accomplishments, like how I've been the leader of marketing projects for Fortune 500 companies, but I won't bore you with that. What I want to do is start by asking you guys a question, and actually raise your hand, please. How many of you feel successful in life? Be honest. Okay, all right. Well, something I've learned about success is everyone has their own view of what success really looks like. For some, it's making 6 figures. For entrepreneurs like myself, it might be hiring your first employee. Or for those in the corporate world, it might be just getting your first promotion. But I personally think that it doesn't always have to be defined by a monetary number or how many employees you have, or if you've been even promoted. Success can look like anything you want. So it can be as simple as being happy just to go to work every day, never giving up on your dream, or even just trying your best. I know for me, I've personally struggled with knowing whether or not I was successful. We see all these people on social media or in real life who seem to have it literally all figured out. So it's not hard to compare yourself in a world where everyone seems to be constantly bragging about themselves, which, I mean, if they're doing good, then yeah, brag. But I started my marketing career at the ripe age of 19 years old while I was living in a small military town in North Carolina. I don't come from a family of millionaires or entrepreneurs. In fact, my family is 100% working class Americans, and I had no clue what I wanted to do, except I knew that I hated working for people. Literally, there was something about working for people who seemed to not know as much as me that just didn't sit right with me. And now that I say that out loud, it seems like that was more of a personal problem than then. But it did bring me to where I am today, so I'm kind of happy I felt that way. But when I first told my family that I wanted to start a marketing agency, they looked at me like, you are literally insane, and I don't blame them because they didn't know what that was, and I didn't know what that was. But I just knew that I wanted to do it. So starting my business was literally one of the hardest things I ever did. I was up till 12 a.m. trying to find clients. I was taking every free course that I could find, all while studying for a degree that I never even got. So I never finished college. I don't have a degree to prove to all of you that I know what I'm talking about, I guess. But I had to get over my anxiety of being on the phone and pitching $2,000, $3,000 a month marketing packages to men and women who have been in this industry for over 20 years. But the worst part is I actually had people who wanted me to fail. I had to put myself out there and be okay with others that were taking the normal route, like going to college or getting a corporate job, while I went off on my own and I was only 19 years old. But after growing my marketing agency to over 12 monthly retainer clients in literally less than 3 months, which was a lot of money for someone that didn't know what to do with it, I hit a point where I was ready for more. Even though I had hit what deemed success to me at the time, I felt like I was lacking because I didn't own 2 businesses. That sounds really stupid when I say that out loud, but I don't even know why I thought that was the pinnacle of success, because one was enough. But I gave into the pressure of wanting to be the best, and so I started a second business, which was a clothing company. I had such high hopes for this business, but I made a huge mistake by not making or doing any research in the fashion industry, and I probably blew more money than I care to admit, and Sean will know that because he's my financial advisor. And but if I had taken the time to wait and do my research, that business probably could be worth a lot of money right now. But I let the idea of wanting to be successful get the best of me. So fast forward to the beginning of 2020, and I had learned about the coaching industry, which was the next big thing. And I felt like I had enough experience running a business that I felt like I could teach others how to do it. So I started a coaching business. And at this point, I am 21 years old in my story, not right now, I'm 23. And I had 3 businesses under my belt for literally no reason except for bragging rights. And I ended up spending the next 11 months trying to make coaching work when I wasn't even passionate about it, all while running a marketing agency and a clothing company. But keep in mind, this is during COVID, so I had literally no clients, which kind of sucked. I lost them all. And now we're at the end of 2020. I had just gone through a divorce, which I'm living in California, which I hated, and I had literally lost all of my business because of the virus. And so at this point, I'm feeling so unbelievably successful that it's keeping me awake at night. I'm feeling like a failure and like nothing that I do is right. So what did I do to try to make myself feel successful? I started another business. Only this time, I probably should have gone to therapy, but only this time, spoiler alert, I actually still have that business a year later, so at least I did something right there. I decided to start a CBD business, and my boyfriend Andrew is the one that actually helped me start it, who now owns a super successful traffic control business here in Austin. So shout out to him. I just feel like I had to throw that in there. But this business essentially was another attempt to try to keep up with the rest of the entrepreneurs who seem to literally have it all, except for me. And so it sucks that it took 4 businesses to finally realize that success to me wasn't defined by literally any of that. When I was making the most amount of money that I've ever made in my life, when I had 3 businesses at once, when I was getting asked to be interviewed on podcasts, on newspapers, on all of that, I never felt successful. So the moral of the story is, no, I'm not a millionaire yet. And no, my businesses aren't talked about right now in Austin yet. But I've learned that for me, the feeling of success doesn't come from any of those things, just like it didn't come from owning 4 businesses that I literally don't even have. But the fact that I've been able to keep a business going on my own with no investors or any solid employees that know what they're doing, even when I feel like my ideas are failures, and how sometimes they're pretty silly, I can at least say that I love what I do, and I will always keep trying new things because I actually have the ability to. And so I literally just challenge you the next time you think about success to really look at all the amazing things that you've done and just give yourself some credit. And that's it.
All right, the next speaker completed her master's in finance faster than anybody in the history of the MS program at UT Dallas. She's traveled the globe, works for one of the most prestigious consulting firms in the country, and is a world champion rock climber. Please welcome the one-of-a-kind RITA MARSANOVA.
Hi. Very excited to join you all today. Thank you so much, Matt, for hosting all of this. So it was quite the introduction. A little bit more about myself. I graduated last December with my master's in finance from UT Dallas, then started as a full-time mergers and acquisition consultant with FTI Consulting. You might have not heard of them, but they compete directly with MBB, Bain, McKinsey, BCG, and they have over 6,000 employees worldwide. My position involves financial, operational, and strategic advisory. We help clients across the transaction lifecycle with an emphasis on integration and separation planning. In the almost 1 year I've worked as a consultant, I've supported HR, finance, accounting, strategic communications, IT, procurement, and even sales functions for our clients, giving me a breadth of experience across many different business functions in different industries. Before joining FTI, I did about 6 different internships in college, which revolved around a series of private equity and project management roles at companies such as JP Morgan Chase, Ericsson, and several real estate private equity firms. When thinking about what I might want to share with you all today, because I haven't started my own business, haven't cured cancer or anything, a lot of very impressive people here, I thought about this one article I read not too long ago, and that really jumped out at me. According to Business Insider, did you know that 60% of millennials making over 100K are living paycheck to paycheck? And 100K is considered to be a middle-class income? I'm sorry, but just saying you have 6 figures does not cut it anymore. So what can you do? I want to spend my time speaking with you about 3 things that you could start doing today to start setting yourself up to be more successful with your finances at work and with your time. So starting with finances. Why do you go to work? Is it to pay your bills, to feed your family, the next big vacation? Ultimately, it's to set yourself up for financial freedom. At this age, you should be working to build wealth and working to set up your finances in a way to work for you. Which a lot of you are doing that, setting up your own businesses. Going to college, finding a 9-to-5 job, putting a little away into your 401k, and working until you retire at 65, likely 75 by the time we get there, is a very outdated way of thinking about making money. I went to college and I'm very supportive about going to college. There are countless people who have proved that going to college does not guarantee you to be wealthy or successful. People are out making fortunes through real estate, Airbnb, fix and flips, renting. Influencers are on TikTok and YouTube making millions, day traders with cryptocurrencies, stocks, and NFTs. There's no one size fits all. People make money after going to college, and people make money without going to college. But what all these people have in common is they've identified something that people want or need, and they found a niche to specialize in and use that knowledge to grow their business and their finances. Just because you haven't found your niche today doesn't mean you can't start being smart with your money by investing. The easiest way to get into investing is by living below your means. Maybe instead of buying a new flashy car, you get a used one in great shape. Or instead of living in the middle of downtown, you live 15 minutes out where rent is a little bit cheaper. And use that difference you're saving to start investing. People like to think they'll start investing once they feel financially secure, but this can drag on forever. And next thing you know, you're thinking about retiring. Money is made by investing early and taking advantage of time and compounding interest. Your 20s and 30s are going to be the most crucial years for building your wealth down the road, not your 40s and 50s. Starting to invest small amounts in your 20s adds up to a significant amount over time. $100 every month for 30 years will make you around $250K. $100 a month is very reasonable. Whereas if you start at 45, you'll have to invest $1,200 a month to get to that $250. Like, that's a crazy difference that you just don't really think about. And it might be a lot more challenging to put in that $1,200 a month when you're older and have the added expenses of children, mortgages, and whatnot. And if experts are saying that 100K is barely enough to live off of now, 250K is only going to last you like 2 years. I personally invest about 70% of my income. And I am totally aware that that's really freaking insane. And COVID has helped, living at home, but I am moving. I just bought a house. But sit down and think about how much you can put away. Make an Excel spreadsheet with all your monthly expenses and think how much you can reasonably afford to invest. That being said, you should never invest money you depend on to live. Most of my investments are very safe and therefore yield a very low return. However, if your money is just sitting in your checking or regular savings account, just know you're losing money to inflation. Inflation is historically around 3.5%, and this year is expected to be close to 5% according to Bank of America. So if your money isn't growing at least 5% annually, and your raise isn't at least 5% this year, which you should speak to your employer if you don't get at least 5% raise, because you're losing money. Final piece of advice on investing: don't invest anything you don't know in anything you don't know about or don't understand, and always have an exit plan. The second thing I want to talk to you about is confidence in the workplace. At work and dealing in business in general, you need to be confident in yourself and your abilities. Whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, computer programmer, a business analyst, you need to be keeping track of your accomplishments, and you need to be constantly selling yourself when communicating with clients, managers, and even peers. What do I mean by selling yourself? People should associate you with positivity, confidence, and always good work. It's just one part of the secret sauce. No one's going to just hand you anything in this world. You need to take it, and you need to be your own biggest advocate and brag about yourself. There are two really great books out there, Women Don't Ask by Linda Babbitt and Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg, that explain that when women want something, whether it's a promotion or a raise or whatever, they don't ask. And this doesn't just apply to women, but especially women. Just because you think you are deserving or have the right experience to get that next big raise or lead that next big project, this does not mean that everyone else knows you want it or has directly seen your accomplishments. You need to ask for what you want. You need to have evidence to support why you should get what you're asking for. So therefore, you should keep track of all of your accomplishments. Maybe in something called a brag book. A brag book helps with this because when it's time for that end of year review, which is coming up for some people, when you want that raise and promotion, you have an entire track list of examples on months you killed your sales quotas, of happy clients you delivered great work on, trainings you took and new tools you learned how to use to enhance your ability to perform your job, and times where you performed above the expectations of your role. You can make the brag book whatever you want it to be. But I also like to track the people I worked with as witnesses to my accomplishments. I like to track my accomplishments against my annual goals. Additionally, this can be something you reference if you're ready to switch jobs. You might sit there 3 years down the road and be like, I know I did a bunch of great, important things, but I can't remember everything. This will be something you can reference when you're updating your resume. The final thing I want to talk to you about is networking. This is a networking event, so you're all already here and off to a great start. But I specifically want to say, networking doesn't stop once you land the dream job. Networking is a lifelong skill. You should be networking to find mentors, teachers, people that inspire you, and people that motivate you. But also, you should be networking to mentor, to teach, to inspire, and to motivate others. As you meet people in your professional world and personal world, be willing to raise your hand and offer to help if you know you can or know someone else who can. You never know, that person may be your boss down the road and will think of your name the first next time an opportunity to return the favor comes up. Networking helped me land 6 internships in college, helped me land an extremely competitive job coming out of a non-target university, and has introduced me to countless successful individuals, many of whom are now friends. Keep up with your LinkedIn, continue to update it and engage with the accomplishments others post. Again, you never know what life may throw at you and who will be the next person to make a difference in your life. If you surround yourself with winners, you're going to win. If you surround yourself with losers, you're going to lose. Yeah. Thank you.
So Ross and I started this company about a year ago. We were sketching down literally our logo, and we're like, how the hell do we start a company? How the hell do you get to where Gymshark is or where some other companies are? How the hell do you do it? And just like Alex said, you need to become a learning machine. You need to find the answer because it's not given to you. And that's something that we constantly strive on, because whatever we do to get ourselves in that mentality, we read audibles. We're here, which is freaking awesome, because I wish that we could do it annually or something like that for more people, because someone here knows somebody else that can help somebody else. If that makes sense. So I just want to leave you guys with believing in yourselves and really really like talking through your passion, because your passion is gonna do all the talking. All you have to do is just, you know, commit to that. Yeah. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And I also wanted to end it with my dad joke. Okay, so I've never like, I guess it's a stand-up for me, I guess. I don't know. I may change passions, but I may drop this whole like fitness approach. I may do this, whatever. So it goes like this. So there's one guy, he's out in Cancun with his family, right? He's there with his wife and his 2 kids, and you know, having a good time at the beach. You know, just maybe even drinking like a beer or something. And then he gets a call from his doctor, and his doctor, he answers the phone. He's like, "Hey, what's up, doc? How's it going? Like, I'm in vacation right now. Like I thought I told you this." And then he was like, "Oh, I have some bad news and worse news." He's like, "What the heck's going on? Like, can this wait, doc? I'm in vacation." He's like, "No, I need to tell you right now." He's like, all right, whatever. I've never heard of like bad news and worse news. So I guess I can start off with the bad news. Yeah, sure. And he's like, "All right, bad news, man, is that you have 24 hours to live." He's like, "Oh shit. I mean, I'm here with my family. I'm gonna, you know, make it the best out of it before I head back to, let's say, Texas." And then he's like, "But wait a minute, like, how it cannot get any worse than this? It's already like, you know, the worst news. I'm about to die." And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna tell you the worst news." And he's like, "All right, just tell me. I mean, there's nothing else that can go wrong. Worst news is that I've been trying to reach you since yesterday." That's it. Thank you, guys.
All right, this is kind of nerve-wracking. Shout out to everyone that got up here before me. Listen, guys, I'm sorry. That was like the perfect close, dude, and I totally fucked it. But I do want to just say 3 things that really helped me with my life. Hopefully, it helps with y'all. So just like y'all, I'm gonna keep this short. But I went through a pretty bad stretch in my life. I was in a fraternity. I was like smoking weed every day, drinking until like 6, 7 a.m., waking up at like 2, hammering shots, kept doing it, didn't go to class, didn't do anything. And life kind of got, you know, a little depressive. And so something that kind of helped me out and something that I was really struggling with, and I don't know if you guys will take to this, but I was always kind of thinking like long-term, what am I doing, right? Like what's the point of my business? Where is she? As you said, right? Like I have this one business, I have 3 businesses, I have 4 businesses, but I don't feel successful, right? Because it's like, you're looking at it super long-term, like 30, 40 years from now, right? And you're just like, oh man, like I gotta get you like a millionaire, a billionaire, or whatever the fuck your goal is, right? And I read a philosopher's book that kind of talked about changing your mindset from, instead of being like, I need to hit this by when I'm 30, I need to become a doctor and have 17 papers that are nationally recognized by when I'm 30, right? You're always going to be depressed thinking like that, because you're always going to be constantly thinking to yourself like, I'm drowning, I'm nowhere, I'm not there yet. And instead, as he said, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, Shady, you gotta, Shady, close enough, right? My bad. Kind of what he was talking about is like, take it day by day. Manage your expectations, put short-term goals. Be like, this week I want to finish this week I want to finish this. And that way, even though you're not like looking at the big target, you're taking small steps. And that's what's going to take to get to that big target. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, whenever you're reflecting on your day at the end of the day, this is something that helped me out greatly, and I'm trying to instill it into Rita, and we're kind of working on this as well. Sorry. She's doing great. But a lot of times, like, her job is very stressful, right? And my job, like, I manage 25 employees, 23 of which are women. And like, nothing against women, but it's a pain in the ass having to manage 23 women every day. And so effectively, what it comes down to me is like, I come home and I'm always like in this like, oh my God, this day sucked and this and this. And then Rita has her like high intensity job where she's talking with these like Fortune 500 CEOs all day and like getting blasted about stuff, and she's just in her first year, right? And so a thing that really helps is I always try to train my mindset on reflecting on the day positively, not negatively, but positively. Instead of looking back and being like, man, like she put in her notice, she doesn't want to work anymore, she hates her, you know, and she loves her, but the other one hates her. You kind of think of it like, you know what, today wasn't that bad of a day. You know, like we made this money, you know, this horrible patient came in that I dreaded all week about. It wasn't even that bad, right? Like I got to ride home and Drake dropped a new song and I got to, you know, get in my feels. You know, whatever the case might be, you kind of put yourself in that positive attitude, and that really helps you progress and take those small steps. When you're in a negative attitude, it's so hard to get out of that. And the third thing is, again, as many of you guys have mentioned, networking and building yourself around people, right? Like when I was in college, I remember one day I was sitting in a, we were smoking weed. It was like 2 in the morning on a Wednesday, and there's like 12 of us. And we're just going down the line, you know, just everyone's passing the joint. And all of a sudden, like, some guy's like, man, if, I forget who was president. It was either Obama or Trump, or right during that, like, switch. Like, man, if this guy wasn't president, like, I would be a fucking millionaire by now. I'm like, no, you wouldn't, dude. It's a Wednesday at 2 o'clock. You got class tomorrow at 8. You're smoking weed here. Like, that's all on you, my guy. Like, that's nothing has to do with the president, right? So what that kind of showed me is, like, I was an alcoholic. I was a drug addict. I trapped weed, and I would make Rita sell my weed to people. True story. All because, like, she would be like, hey, this guy's going to come over at 6. Just give him an eighth, and then just be done with it. And poor little Rita's, like, opening the door to this, like, giant guy, you know? Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why she didn't break up with me, honestly. But long story short, that it was because I was surrounding myself with those people. All day long, I'm dealing with people that are smoking weed. All day long, I'm dealing with people that are drinking, that are like, dude, let's drink, let's smoke, let's go to raves, let's do this. So that's what you become, right? That's all you know, because that's your daily activities, your daily basis. And then I started slowly and maturely getting with Rita and kind of getting with her mindset of like, let's push and let's just grind. And then we got mentors in, and then we got people that own, you know, I got a guy that owned 10 houses. I'm like, I want to be like that guy. Then I got a guy that owned 150 houses, who is now one of our good friends that we call 4 times a day. And I'm like, that other guy sucks. I want to be like this guy, right? And the point is you surround yourself with people that you want to be with, right? That will motivate you to push forward. One of my favorite quotes is, spend 30% of your time with people above you for inspiration, 40% of your time with people in your area for motivation, and then 30% underneath you for perspective, because that's important. Yes, it's good to always be with those guys that are the high flyers. You got to also go with your own crowd of people that are where you are, that are struggling, that are going through what you're going through, right? But you also got to go with people below you that are trying to get there, to see what the perspective looks like, right? And that will also help your positive mindset. So anyway, those 3 things kind of like drove me and Rita into where we are now. Yeah, I'm shaking. Yeah, I just wanted to mention.